I got a great job. I love being a photographer in this area. It's a great area to be in. I get to experience so many things over the last 20 years. It's been awesome. Like going to the top of the, I said selfies, so we're gonna start off with some selfies. That's me on top of the State House Dome when they were renovating it. It was really scary. That's me in the rain. Forgive me. When you guys see all these storms and everything, you say, oh, good, we're going to be out of work tomorrow. We don't have to go. Well, I have to go. So that was, I think, during a tropical storm down at City Dock, our favorite place to go. That's me up on a sailboat mast shooting pictures. That was my first time on a sailboat mast, and that was a small sailboat. So that's another shot of me up there. That's when I got to fly in a biplane over the Chesapeake Bay. Open cockpit. I was in the front seat. The pilot's in the back seat. And I'm like, oh, cool, we're in an airplane, you know. And I'm like, how am I going to get a picture of this woman behind me flying the plane? So I wrapped the strap around my arm, pre-focused at 3 feet, and then just did like that up over my head. As soon as I lifted it over the windshield, it like wanted to take off on me. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna knock the woman out and then I'll be flying the plane, which she offered. She said, do you wanna fly the plane? I said, no, I'm good. I don't need to do that. I don't need to fly the plane. That was my second sailboat mast. That was at the boat show. That one was 100 feet in the air, as you can see. There's my Superman socks. And that's how, I was very scared up there. I was in a bosun's chair. And I'm going up, and I got my feet wrapped around the thing. I'm like, ugh. And every time I do one of these crazy things, I was walking by the sailboat, and the guy was like, I was photographing the guy up there, and as I'm walking by, he says, do you want to go up? And I'm like, I do, but I'm pretty scared. When you get you got to go. You know, when you get the opportunity, you got to go. So I went, and there I am. I'm like Spider-Man. I got to fly in the Anne Arundel County Police helicopter. It's not all selfies, trust me. And that's me in the snow at a Navy lacrosse game, I believe. How did they play lacrosse in the snow? They were wearing shorts. I was freezing. That's me with a childhood hero, Buzz Aldrin. I got to photograph him last year. And what do you think the one question you don't ask Buzz Aldrin? I asked him, what's it like to go to the moon? And he wasn't having it. He's been hearing that question for 40 years now. He was like, so he didn't answer. But he was really cool. It says, get your ass to Mars. I had to work around that to get it in the paper. That's me at Army Navy, not photographing, but looking at my phone. It seems like they always catch me when I'm either looking at my phone or the back of my camera. You remember the mansion fire a couple of years ago? Well, it's a tragedy, and they sent me out on a boat to get a water view of it, and it was January, and then it started to snow. I looked like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining. Hot air balloon. See, that's what's great about this job is you eventually get to do something, like so you think about it. I wind up getting to do it, hopefully. Blue Angels is something on my bucket list, but that might be a tough one. Got to be in the Back to the Future car. We went for a ride in it, too. It was cool. It was really shaky. It's not a good car. And I'm usually climbing on top of something to take a picture. There's me running from horses. Actually, I was running to try to get in front of the horses to get a better picture. Well, that's it for this one. If you want to go to the editorial one, I'm sorry, I don't have a big, long talk. You guys feel free to ask any questions because that's what I'm pretty good at is answering the questions.
Where was that taken?
I was in front of St. Anne's as I was running from Main Street around St. Anne's to get in front of the horses, and I was kind of a jerk. I think I ran in front of a bunch of people taking pictures. I try not to do that usually, but I was under the gun. Okay, this is editorial? Great. Okay, well, It's kind of sports, but it's kind of editorial. Whenever I'm at like a sporting event or something, you always want to look for a featurey type shot too, just in case, you know, out front needs something and not just the sports. So this kid, he was going nuts. He was having a ball. He's a big fan. He was so excited too. I think I saw his parents later, and they said how excited he was when his kid, when he ran and saw picture was in the paper. That's our state sport, jousting, but it's not the jamming guys in the chest kind. That was really, like, there was some beautiful light. This was the Fringe Festival on West Street, and the sun was just remarkable, and it was hitting this woman really nice, and it made a great picture, I thought. And it's the same event. So you guys were talking, you got your backlight challenge. I shoot backlight a lot. I try to tell the reporters not to shoot backlight because they can't really do it, and it just makes a horrible mess of me trying to correct their photographs. But when you get a good one, you know, it turns out well. So I'm looking forward to seeing your stuff. This is the Ballet Theater of Maryland, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Diane, she's great. She's tough. Whenever I do a shoot there, she's on me, because if them girls don't have their toes pointed just right or something, she's like, you can't show that one. I'm like, I'm doing the best I can. With musicians, I try to get like a unique angle sometimes, and this guy, he plays every Wednesday at Potbelly at the Annapolis Mall. So if you're in there around lunchtime on Wednesdays, he's really good. And I like this photograph because it had a lot of good color, and the light was nice on his face coming in the window. Spelling bees are tough. I can't, these kids, they're under some pressure, boy. He was kind of stressed out. This was a story we did at the dairy farm out in Gambrels about the farmers, and they were making it organic again. And it's a really nice light coming in from a window at the top there. It was like a sunroof, and I thought it just hit him perfect. I shoot a lot of stuff that's not always happy and fun. This was at a meeting. It was after all the problems with the police and the Black Lives Matter and all the shootings and stuff. They had a meeting with the police and the neighborhood people got together, and this woman got up, was talking about her son, and she was very emotional, and she had, had the tear running down her face and stuff. And it's hard to shoot pictures of people like this, but over the years, I've made myself be able to do it more. When I first started, I'll tell a story, 20 years ago, I was doing a memorial for couples who lost a child in the first couple months of, after they were born. And we, even though we were invited and covering the thing, this couple was off to the side and they were having a moment. They were hugging and crying and stuff. And I picked the camera up, and the guy was like, he looked at me and he just looked so sad that I didn't take the picture. And this is when I was at a weekly paper. And the daily guy came up and fired off like 5 frames, got the shot, and then left. And it was a really good picture, but I couldn't do it at that point. At this point, I still feel really bad about it, but I will try to take the picture, but try not to intrude on their moment either. I'll try to do it from farther away. Yay. Every year we shoot this shot. I won an award. I don't know if it was for this one, but for one of these years when I did the hat toss, it won an award in the press contest. And a good friend of mine, Allison Harbaugh, won an award with a shot just like this, like 10 years ago. I think I could enter this picture in the contest every year and probably win an award, but I don't. So.
Is that burst mode or your careful timing?
I probably I was probably firing away. It was probably burst. But you know what? It doesn't always work. Like even shooting sports, like sometimes you do a lot better just waiting for the moment and hitting it, instead of like, 'cause I'll find even with burst mode, even when I had, like right now my D750 only shoots 6 frames a second. My D3 will do 11. And even then, sometimes you still miss it in between. So it depends on the sport and what I'm doing, on whether I'm like firing away or just, but this you're only up there for a couple seconds.
The big deal here, though, is you have access to the ordinary public.
Oh yeah, they round us up every year. It's like, they say when we hit the 29th company, everybody meets like right in a certain area, and then they take us up, and there's a lot of photographers there, a lot of us, like TV guys, still guys. I mean, it draws a lot of people, and we wait, and then they run us out there, and I'm getting old, my knees are starting to not be able, like you got to stay down the whole time, and then the moment comes, and they, throw them, and then when them hats come down, they hurt.
Oh. Are you sitting on the ground?
I'm kneeling on the ground or sitting, yeah, and you're right there. And then, you know, they do the third cheer and they throw them and you start firing away and then they take you right on out of there. That's at the aquarium. I was there for another assignment about some couple that got engaged there, but you're at the aquarium and you see, you know, great pictures, you're gonna shoot them. I don't even know if this went in the paper, but it's one of my favorites. I think I did a funny Photoshop where I put Michael Phelps inside of that glass. Like, I should have brought that one. Like I said, sports, you're looking for the moments away from the action sometimes that can be funny. He had the rally caps on. This one you guys might have saw last time for those who were here. This is a funeral for Steve Belichick, the father of Bill Belichick from the Patriots. He was a big Naval Academy football coach back in the day. And Bill comes here a lot for other things. This was his grandson, this is Bill's son, at the funeral at the Academy. And again, funerals are always, it's a weird thing to have to take pictures of, but we were invited to the, you know, we're not stalking them out. Mostly. Sometimes they do send us to something where we'll be, you know, across the street or something for somebody famous. And it's still, if it's a famous person, they're gonna expect press there. We might not be inside, but you know, they're gonna, you know, you gotta get the shot of the casket coming out or something. So, but this one I really like because of the light and because of the framing of the kid with the flag and, you know, the coffin. I thought it came out really well. Yeah, the colors. This is Ben. We're going to talk about Ben a little bit later because Ben was, well, I don't want to spoil it, but he's a cute little kid, and I'll tell you the story if we get to the slideshow. Snow, you guys are sitting in your warm houses. I'm walking around trying to keep warm and keep my cameras dry and make interesting pictures. This ran almost full page on the front of the Capitol after I shot it. It was pretty cool. Just somebody walking down the street. Okay, here we go. January 20th, 2017, what were you guys doing? It was a Friday. Were you watching the inauguration? I was up at like 4 in the morning waiting to get on a bus to DC and with a bunch of people who were going to the inauguration. So I get up, we go to Marley Station, get on the bus. Everyone's having a great time. We get there, the bus parks really far away from where we were supposed to be, so we're walking. And then, you know, I'm shooting pictures the whole way. We got some local folk we're following for the inauguration. Well, we get into the line for security. We think we have plenty of time. This is how we watched the inauguration. We were there, we're all huddled around a phone because we couldn't get through, even press, we couldn't get through security to get in there. But it was still made an interesting story, you know, how people were all stuck. This was just last week at this woman's son was killed on Clay Street. And she had returned to the spot for the first time 12 years after the fact, after it happened, and it was very emotional. She was really nice. You know, it was for a vigil. But again, this is a tough, you know, to put the camera in. I didn't put it in her face. This was a longer lens, but you're still, you know, it's still hard to take the picture. Yeah, and the crying. It was their little girl was 10 years old, and I felt horrible shooting the picture, but I did. Storm Brothers is one of my favorites. Again, me out in the rain. But when I saw, I was probably where I was standing on City Dock or close to it, cut in that rain suit. And I look over and I see Sven Storm standing on a pile of sandbags, and he's got Storm Brothers on there, and there's water. It was like I loved it. I thought it told the story well. This was at a daddy-daughter dance. And she just looked so cute looking for her daddy. He was there, they danced, they had a good time. Like, they're the fun stories, the cute ones. You might be picking up, I'm kind of a Superman fan, so whenever I see Superman in something, I take a picture. The Globetrotters were in town, and this little kid was gonna score. This didn't win an award. I was shocked. I'm like, how could this not win? This is the cutest picture. So I'm driving in the car looking for wild art one day, and I got our intern with us, Rachel, who's now a great shooter in her own right. And we're going down West Street, and I drive past the bus stop, and I'm like, did I just see the Statue of Liberty waiting for a bus in the rain? And I'm like, I think I did. So then I did a U-turn and went to the gas station, the Exxon station on West Street, across, it's near the Burger King, I guess. And I pull into the gas station, and I don't want to ruin the moment or anything, so I'm making like I'm getting gas, and I get my camera out, and with a 70 to 200 across the street, I just fire off a few frames, and I was like, that was awesome. And then we ran it as like a, tax shelter, I think was the headline, because she's the Liberty tax girl. This was at a mosque in Gambrills. It was a picture I was like, I couldn't imagine. When I shot it, I couldn't imagine. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just got that. Because this little kid, they were all praying, and this kid just wandered out looking for his daddy. And then, I just like it. And it ran in the paper. And I think when I cropped it for the paper, I didn't crop it tight enough, but now I fixed that here. Blue Angels, they're awesome. This was me. I got sent down. It was the practice day. And they didn't send me to the academy. This might not even have been this. Yeah, they sent me down to the city dock to get spectators. I'm like, I don't want to shoot the spectators. I want to shoot the airplanes. So I was shooting the spectators, and I grabbed a shot with the airplanes. And they were when I went back, they were going to say, the editor loved it. The main editor, Steve Gunn, he's not there anymore, but he's like, let's run this full page, front page, full entire page. And I knew I was shooting the Blue Angels the next day, and I said, no, don't do that, because I want a full page on the real plane day. And then the next day, I didn't get anything near as good as this one. So I kind of get, now I got to take the full pages when they want to give them to me. That was Dick Israel. He was a Annapolis alderman. And he was a really nice guy. And we talked to him a few months before he got really sick at his house. And this was just a nice portrait that I made with just available light. And I think I had a 51.8 on the camera. I was just trying it out. And it came out nice. It looks better. It looked better in the paper, but I liked it. He was a nice guy, and I felt bad. This is another. This one won an award. I think he got a Best in Show too in the Maryland, D.C. Delaware Press Association. I was on another assignment. We were doing a story on them little mini scooters that drive people around downtown. So we were with them, and we drive past. We're going past the market house, and I looked over and I said, "Is that a dog on top of the table?" And so I'm like, "Okay, I got to get out." So I got out and ran back, and I got lucky, and I caught the dog trying to get some soup. This is an oldie, but one of my favorites. We did a long-term project. We went to the prisons out in Jessup for 6 weeks every Friday. Reporter Pam Wood and I, and we were in the big one they just tore down a couple of years ago, and it was really scary being in there. I don't ever want to go to prison. I don't recommend it for anybody. I look over, and this is with my Canon DCS 520, which is old school. You got to check out the old digital cameras over there if you get a chance. It was 2 megapixels, and I paid $12,000 for it. Wow. But it got me this picture, and it was a good camera. This was 2000. Anyway, I got 3 frames off, and this was the only one. Like as soon as I fired the camera, he put the mirror down, and I was like, wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. They didn't run it well on the paper. I was really mad. This one I shot at I think it was Newtown 20. I could be wrong. No, it was Newtown 20. We did a long-term project on the housing situation here in Annapolis, where reporter Jack Lambert and I went. He went a lot more than I did. He was like their buddy down there. Oh, it's little Jackie Lambert, look at you. It was a really hard thing to shoot, though, because none of the men would let us shoot them. They were really afraid of us taking pictures of them. But like the women, you could talk to them a little bit more, and they would be a little more open. So it was really hard to get like pictures that showed everything. But I got a few. I think I was able to talk one group of guys playing cards to be able to do a tight shot of just the table and their hands and stuff.